because Peter Allen, to me as a kid, I found it very interesting that, in case anyone doesn't know who Peter Allen is, Peter Allen's an extraordinarily gay man. He was, when my baby smiles at me, I go to Rio. That guy, right? And he wrote, When You Get Lost Between the Moon and New York City. He was the first Australian to win an Oscar. And he was so gay, like with maracas and tidies. And then he married Liza Minnelli. And everyone was like, what's this? Which is possibly the gayest thing you can do is marry Liza Minnelli. Like it's a heterosexual act in theory. But so, and then he died of AIDS in the end and all that sort of stuff. But I always found it fascinating that he came from a little town called Tenterfield. It's a little town between Queensland and Sydney and Brisbane, sort of equidistant in between. And it's a small country town. When he lived there, it probably had a population of under 1,000 people. And he was just, at that stage, he was Australia's greatest singer-songwriter that we had. And I thought it was fascinating that you can come from anywhere. I always get pissed off when I hear Americans accepting an Oscar and they say something like this, who would have thought that a kid from Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Yeah, or like, who would have thought that a little girl who grew up in Oklahoma? Then stop fucking saying it's the land of opportunity. Like if you can't do it in Brooklyn when New York's just over there, just fucking there, or they even do it from New York. Like, well, growing up in Hell's Kitchen, things weren't easy. What, you were 2 fucking blocks from the theatre district? You know what I mean? I tell you what's hard, growing up in Sydney and wanting to have an international career and jumping through all the hoops to get visas and permits and stuff and trying to make the American Immigration Board think that you're an alien of extraordinary ability. That's fucking tricky, right? Growing up in Oklahoma, piece of piss. But you get what I'm saying, right?
When they accept the Australian Academy Award or whatever it is, don't they say, who would have thought a person from Perth could do this?
Yeah, exactly.
They don't say that?
No, they don't. Well, we don't. First of all, we don't have that. We have like some, I think they call the ARIA. The ARIA Awards are music ones, and then BAFTA. We don't really, I don't think we have Australian Film Awards, I'm sure.
But do they say that? Who would have thought a kid from Perth could have made it?
Yeah, no, that's a real American thing. And it's the greatest country on earth. You can do anything you want in this country. Oh, who would have thought that a man from Phoenix in a little town or a country girl from... It's harder to be a person from Canada, and there's shitloads of them. All the people in your movie industry are all Australian. It's weird. I've strangely become friends with Russell Crowe recently, and we drinking buddies. And there's a weird thing about Australians is I never knew this about Russell Crowe. He's a New Zealander. Australia just nicks things. We took Crowded House. Crowded House has nothing to do with Australia. Mel Gibson was American. He grew up. Like, this is the thing about Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson lived in America till he's 5. Then he moves to Australia, and then he does all Australian movies, Mad Max and what have you. Has an Australian accent, and then he comes back over here, and Australians were like, "He's Australian. He's Australian. He's Australian." And then this dead set happened. When he said the N-word to his girlfriend, like down the phone, he said, "I hope you get raped by a pack of N." When he said that sentence, right, I was watching the news, and the reporter went, "Australian actor Mel Gibson." And I'm like, that's the first time in 20 years that you've called him Australia again. He becomes racist, and obviously he's Australian again. No, he's American to me now. Mel Gibson's American. Given up on him.
So if here there's something called the American Dream.
Yes.
What is the equivalent of that in Australia?
It's the same. There's something like...
What do they call it in Australia?
We don't. Only Americans do this whole thing. There's like 100 free countries on this planet, right? You're just one of them. You know what I mean? Like I watch Shark's Tank, and they go, Shark's Tank is all about the American dream. This is the American dream in its essence. Shark Tanks, you come in here with nothing, we give you a deal, it's the American dream. The show was from Holland, right? Then it went to Britain, then it went to Australia, then it went to Canada. It was called Dragon's Den for the first other 5 countries. It's made by a company called Endemol, which is Dutch, right? And you're all like, it's the American dream, it's the American dream. All right, fine, it's the American dream, 5 times removed. Like, what is the American dream? You work hard, you get ahead in this life. Because the rest of us are just sitting around. I thought if you were lazy, you got ahead. I didn't know how the whole system worked. It's just what the dream of being successful is the American dream. What do you think? What do Canadians call it? You know what I mean? It's just the American dream is slightly because of the way the government's set up. And I like living here. None of these things affect me because I've got money. But the dream is set up in the way that you can become anything in this world. But if you fuck up, you're on your own, right? Because there's not the healthcare, there's not the social security, there's not the housing for the homeless and stuff like that. So you really can become anything in America, but good luck if you don't. Is that too harsh to say?
Do you ever say that in your stand-up act?
No, I don't. I just don't want to piss more people off. I get so much hate mail.
I don't think
I get
so
so
it's
much
possible.
fucking hate mail from the gun people constantly, because people think if you speak out about something that you don't like it, if you say something bad about it. But if I'm in Australia, I'm bagging on Australia. If I'm in Britain, I'm bagging on Britain. You know, no place on earth is perfect.